I want you to remember a name. It's a name that carries the weight of our history, a name that should symbolize the bridge we tried to build between our painful past and our hopeful future. That name is Nelson Mandela. But I need to talk to you today about another name, a name that is right now reshaping what that bridge leads to, a name that is steering the soul of South Africa into waters so deep, so dark, and so divisive that I fear we may not find our way back. That name is Naledi Pandor. And this is not just a political story. This is a story about faith and power and a dangerous new road our country is being taken down, a road that, for many of us, especially for those who feel their voice is no longer heard, for our minority communities watching from the edge with a quiet, growing fear, feels like a betrayal of the very rainbow nation we were promised. So, lean in close. Listen, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see our place in the world. It begins not in the halls of government, but in the heart of a woman. Naledi Pandor, granddaughter of anti-apartheid stalwarts, a respected academic, a fixture in our politics, but she tells us she found her true identity not in the legacy of her family, but in a late-in-life conversion to Islam. She describes it with powerful, evocative language. She says Islam became her roadmap. It gave her a person she could recognize, a moral compass for how to live. And on the surface, who can argue with a person's sincere faith? It's a deeply personal journey. But here is where the story twists. This personal faith didn't stay personal. It walked right out of the mosque and into the highest offices of our state. Picture the scene, August 2024. A fundraising dinner at the Langa Masjid in Cape Town. The former Minister of International Relations, a woman who held the power to speak for all of us, stands before a crowd. A keffiyeh around her shoulders, and she speaks a word that echoes through the chambers of international diplomacy and strikes fear into the heart of communities who know its violent meaning: jihad.
And we should be ready to protect them when they are threatened. I said recently in America that we as Muslims, we are a peace-loving people, but we are permitted to engage in jihad when necessary. And we must remember this.
She said, and I quote, "We are permitted to engage in jihad when necessary." She urged young Muslims to become true activists. Now, her supporters will say she meant a spiritual struggle. But you and I, we live in the real world. We know how those words are heard. We've seen the bloodshed carried out in its name across the world right here on our continent. And the world heard her. The South African Zionist Federation called it normalizing the language of holy war. Political analyst Stephen Gruzd warned it was incitement to violence and that it would further shatter our relationship with the United States. Can you feel it? The ground shifting beneath our feet. Our country's voice, once one of reconciliation, now being used to utter words that send a chill down the spine of the world. But the words were only the beginning. The actions are what paint the truly terrifying picture. While she was our minister, our Department of International Relations and Cooperation, our DIRCO, was transformed. Critics say it was turned from a neutral diplomatic service into a political weapon owned by Iran, Qatar, and Hamas. Let that sink in. Hamas. An organization whose charter calls for violence that we, as South Africans who live through terror, should recoil from. The evidence is staggering. She has a, and I quote, long-standing and well-documented relationship with Hamas. After the October 7th attacks, she was accused of sending messages of support. Imagine that. Our minister, comforting extremists. And it goes deeper. Our own DIRCO, Under her leadership, twice hosted Hamas delegations. They even arranged for our legal team, the team going to the International Court of Justice to argue a case of genocide, to be secretly whisked away to meet with Palestinian terrorist activists before the case began. Think about the implication. To meet with members of Hamas, they'd likely need false Iranian passports, our government in the shadows potentially coordinating with Iran. This isn't a conspiracy theory, it's documented. And who did she place in key positions? Look at our ambassador to Washington, Ibrahim Rasool, a man who once praised the founder of Hamas, Sheikh Ahmed Yassin, as one of the greatest inspirations, praying for Palestinians to stand up and fight under the flag of Islam. This was our representative, and he was expelled after undiplomatically insulting a US president. This is the legacy we are building, one of isolation, of alignment with the world's most volatile actors. And for those of us here at home, it gets even more personal. When the ANC started losing its grip on power, when they lost their majority in 2024, they made a desperate gamble. They decided to chase a single vote, the Muslim vote, which is only about 1.2% of our population. Our president was seen bowing in mosques, wearing keffiyehs, shouting from the river to the sea. The ANC's manifesto launch was hijacked by this single issue. At their closing rally, a huge Palestinian flag flew, and no South African flag was in sight. No South African flag. Have we lost our own identity in this pursuit? The cruel, beautiful irony? It failed. In the Western Cape, the ANC's support plummeted by 9%. They lost over 200,000 votes. Many Muslims, pragmatic and wise, voted for other parties, even the vocally Israel-aligned Patriotic Alliance. They voted for service delivery, for a future here, not for a war over there. So who is this for? Who is this dangerous, isolating, divisive road for? It's for an ideology. And it doesn't end with her leaving government. Oh no! In a move of chilling strategic genius, she has now taken the helm of the Nelson Mandela Foundation. The moral soul of our nation is now in her hands. And her first major act? To invite a sanctioned UN official, Francesca Albanese, to deliver the prestigious Nelson Mandela Annual Lecture. Our State Department, DIRCO, still loyal to her, organized her entire tour. They used our state resources, the moral authority of Nelson Mandela's name, to platform a sanctioned individual. Internal documents show her report was distributed to our ICJ delegates as evidence. They have captured our history. They are using Madiba's legacy, the very symbol of our reconciliation, to fuel a global fire of division. This is a propaganda loop, paid for by us, legitimized by his name. This is the truth, my fellow South Africans. This is what is happening while our lights don't work, while our roads crumble, while our people cry out for jobs and safety. Our government is investing its energy, our money, and our global reputation in a holy war that is not ours to fight. And for every South African who feels a knot in their stomach when they hear this, for every person who feels that this country is moving in a direction that excludes them, that threatens them, that misunderstands them, whether you are a white South African farmer watching your heritage be rewritten, or a Jewish South African feeling the ancient fear of anti-Semitism rising, or just a citizen of any color who believes in a peaceful, prosperous South Africa that minds its own business and fixes its own house. Your fear is valid. Your frustration is justified. This is not the future we negotiated. This is not the dream for which so many suffered and died. We have to break this trance. We have to speak up. And that is why I am here talking to you. This channel, our community, is one of the few places left where we dare to speak this raw, unfiltered truth, where we honor the struggles of all South Africans, where we believe that our diversity is our strength, not a weapon to be used against us. But I cannot do this alone. We cannot let this story be silenced, so I am asking you with everything in me to join me in this mission. Please, like this video. Let the algorithm know that truth matters. Subscribe to the channel. Become part of a community that refuses to look away. Share this report. Send it to your friends, your family, to everyone who loves this country and fears for its path. Start the conversation in your homes, in your communities. And if you have the means, please consider joining our channel membership or donating with a super thanks. Your support, even the price of a cup of coffee, does more than you know. It pays for the research, for the courage it takes to stand up and tell these stories. It helps ensure that the stories of everyday South Africans, your stories, are not buried by the powerful. We are at a crossroads. One road leads deeper into this division. The other leads back to us, to each other, to the messy, beautiful, complicated work of building one nation. Let's choose each other. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. Stay strong, South Africa.